Thank you, Mary. Oh, thank
Glad to
you.
have you
Oh,
too.
my pleasure. Wow. What a absolute blessing to be here. I was last week I spoke in Eugene, Oregon, and forest fires. I live in Texas, and you've all heard of Harvey, now Irma, North Korea, this whole political climate. Tomorrow is my 15th anniversary of being diagnosed with cancer. And I don't know about you, but I can't help sometimes to get caught up in the fear and the negativity that's out there. And some days I wake up and I wonder if I can make it through the day. I have these doubts and these fears. And I stand here this morning, I don't have the answers to why so-called bad things happen to good people. That's above my pay grade. But I'm reminded of something that Paul wrote to the church in Corinth, and he said this: "So we do not fix our eyes on what is seen, but what is unseen. For what is seen is temporary, but what is unseen is eternal." And as you know, you're a spiritual being having a physical experience. And so I thought, what can I share with you today? What do we really need? I think there's so much uncertainty. There's so much fear and doubt today. And more than ever, this truth, this message which we receive in religious science, spiritual mind, true, I think more than ever is needed in this world. More than ever, the light that's within you. You know, I'm reminded of a song when I used to go to children's church as a kid. You probably heard it. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. 15 years ago, heard those three words no one wants to hear. And I remember laying in a hospital bed, St. Francis Hospital, Topeka, Kansas. 23 years young. And asking myself, why me? What did I do to cause this? Why? At the time, I was a certified personal trainer. I was into bodybuilding, and my hero was Arnold Schwarzenegger, the Terminator. I will be back. And my whole life, my whole focus was health, and overnight, everything changed. And as I laid there in that hospital bed, in one of the most darkest moments of my life, this quote came to me that I had read years earlier in this book you probably heard of, Think and Grow Rich. And in there, Napoleon Hill writes, every adversity, every heartache, every failure carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit. And at 23 years young, I had to make a choice. I could focus on the perception of disease, but I made a choice, set an intention to visualize my victory. And here it was, that someday, somehow, somewhere, for someone, some good would come from my experience. 15 years ago tomorrow, I laid in my bed and I made that affirmation. It's brought me here today. And I know especially somebody in this room needs to hear something I have to say. And I believe that's how this divine intelligence spirit works. And here's what I believe. Out of your mess comes your message. Out of your test comes your testimony. And perhaps sometimes we go through these illusions of lack, of disease, of struggles. So perhaps that it gains us an insight of empathy to reach out to our fellow humans. Perhaps it gives us this perception. Because let me ask you, how do you know darkness, or how do you know light if you've never seen darkness? How do you know warmth if you've never experienced coldness? My mom, let me share this. My mom, hopefully this will bring it home. My mom made this for me, and I echo the words of Abraham Lincoln, who said, "Everything I am, everything I hope to be, I owe to my dear angel mother." So she made this for me. And you look at this right here. Can anyone tell what this is? Okay, yeah. It's kind of messy, right? It's all tangled up, and it's all like, it's not the most beautiful thing. Unless you like abstract art. Oh, you do? So you like this. And perhaps these things that happen in life, disease, hurricanes, floods, whatever it is, it's like this. And at first we can't understand, we can't see it. It's a mess. And you don't have to raise your hand, but how many have ever been in relationship messes? Oh, I'm one right now. Oh my goodness. We'll leave it there. Out of your mess comes your message. Out of your test comes your testimony. The seed of an equal or greater benefit. I saw this movie last year. It was Will Smith. I don't think you saw the movie Collateral Beauty. I like those words. Collateral beauty. That seed of an equal or greater benefit, because here is on the other side. This is my story. 15 years ago tomorrow. At first, it's all I could see. All I could see 15 years ago. Today, this is this. The fact that I'm here, speaking to you, being able to take that so-called tragedy and turn it into a triumph. See, I'll never forget 15 years ago tomorrow when I walked through the hospital doors of St. Francis, Topeka, Kansas. I didn't know if I'd ever come out. And you can imagine the fear I had, but I met a very special person I'll never forget, Nurse Ginger. And the first thing I noticed about her, she had this $1 million smile. You know, there was a study done in Good Housekeeping. And it found that the average 4-year-old laughs or smiles up to 400 times a day. Curious, how many of you have kids? How many have ever seen a kid?
Every time I look in the mirror.
There you go. 400 times a day. But here is opportunity for you and I. The study also found by the time they reach the age of 30, that number drops to 15. Think about how many people you come across that just need a smile. And Nurse Ginger, that big old smile, I'll never forget it, 15 years ago. And then she said to me, "Matt, I'm the head nurse here. We're going to take really good care of you. And I want to share with you about my sister who also had cancer and she beat it." And she told me it is one of the greatest blessings of her life. I was 23 years young when I heard that. I thought to myself, your sister's cray-cray. There is no good that can come from this. This is the worst possible. But I stand here today, and I echo those words. One of the greatest blessings of my life. But I ask you this. What changed? I want to give this to you. And this is one of my core philosophies in life, and it's this. Your circumstances plus your perception equals your reality. You see, I discovered at a young age, you can't always choose your circumstances. Or can you? That's another talk. You can't always change what's going on. But here's the thing. And I think this, talking about creating your brightest future, this is where it happens. It's in how you perceive those circumstances. Because ultimately, that becomes your reality. Let me give you an example. Age-old question. You heard this before, but just stay with me. A little different twist. Half full or half empty, the glass? How many say it's half full? Optimists in the room. What was that?
It depends on if you're drinking or pouring.
Drinking or pouring. Okay, yeah, that's true. That's a little beyond my comprehension, but that's... I'm originally from Kansas, so we got to keep it simple now. Now, curious, do we have any realists in the room that say the glass is half empty? Any realists? Okay, realists, thank you. How many are just not going to answer? Can I see your hand? Here's like suggest. This glass is either half full or half empty. It's actually 100% full. 50% with
Water.
the other 50%
Air.
air. So you think about it. If this glass represents your circumstance, whatever it might be, the reality, half full, half empty, or 100% full, is based on what?
Perception.
Your perception. And once again, we don't fix our eyes on what is seen, but what is unseen. For the seen is temporary, but the unseen is eternal. You know, I was reminded of this about a month ago. I was speaking, you're not going to believe this, in Austin, Texas, for 150 nuns. I don't even know how I got this talk. Average age, I'm guessing, was 70, and the oldest was 93 years young. Now, I know this because she came up to me afterwards and she said, Sonny, I'm 93 years young, and I have a joke for you. Curious, would anyone like to hear the joke from the 93-year-old young? Okay, now this is not me, this is her joke, okay? So I'm just the messenger here. It's from a nun, so. And so she says to me, Sonny, now you know the Jews don't acknowledge Jesus, and the Protestants don't acknowledge the Pope, and the Baptists don't acknowledge each other at Hooters. I'm trying to figure out how the 93-year-old nun knew about Hooters. Oh my goodness. But she reminded me of something so important. And I think sometimes maybe we forget. But that's what I call the consciousness of humor. And I believe one of the most spiritual practices is to be able to laugh. Because I don't know about you, but for me, when I'm laughing, I'm in the moment. I'm in the present. 400 times a day. Laugh and smile. And that's one of my goals. And so one thing I want to give to you, something I try to live by is this. Lighten up, don't tighten up. Lighten up, don't tighten up. And one way I help me do that, I have this affirmation. This is my affirmation. I'm too blessed to be stressed. Let's try that out. If you would, please, just repeat after me. I'm too blessed, to be stressed. And I just learned a new one last week from a lady at the church. She said this: I'm too grateful to be hateful. Woo! Isn't that good? So let's repeat that. I'm too grateful to be hateful. Reminds me, I was speaking in New York. I was a closing speaker in New York City, and I'm speaking the next day, Portland, Oregon. I'm connecting last flight out through Chicago O'Hare. Yeah, you've been to Chicago O'Hare lately, huh? Talk about a character building experience. Now, my flight from New York to Chicago is delayed. We land Chicago O'Hare 10 minutes before boarding. There's not an open gate. We drive 3 times around O'Hare, finally find an open gate. Get to the open gate, there's no ramp agent. I'm losing it because I'm stressed out because I've got to get on that last flight out because I'm speaking the next morning. And the stress is there, the anxiety. Finally, the ramp agent comes. He can't figure out how to do the ramp. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Now we're 10 minutes into the boarding process. Well, finally get a supervisor. They get the gate, get out the door. I run down the ramp. I find a ticket agent. I said, ma'am, I've got to get to Portland, Oregon. Can you tell me where's the gate at? Now, as a big optimist, I just knew that the arrival gate would be right next to the departure gate. She looks at me and says, oh, no. That's 2 terminals away. And they're scheduled to close the doors in 10 minutes. I said, well, ma'am, what should I do? And she looks at me and she says, run, Forrest, run! For marathons, not sprints. So I take off. I got my suit on. The sweat's coming down. I'm huffing and puffing. And I'm thinking to myself, Matt, you got to start working out more. And I finally get there. There's the plane. The door is shut. Last flight out. And I see a ticket lady there. I run up to her, a gate agent. I said, ma'am, please, I know you're not supposed to, but you understand, I've got to get on that plane. Can you please open the door, make an exception? She said, sir, where are you trying to get to? I said, I've got to get to Portland, Oregon. She said, oh, well, that flight's been delayed for another hour. All that stress, all that anxiety, that worry, for what? For what? Think about this. Tomorrow morning, picture this. You go to your local bank and you discover that $86,400 has been placed in your bank account. Free, legit, clear. How many be like, that's a pretty good day? Now, it gets even better. This happens every single day. $86,400 is placed in your bank account. But here's the catch. Whatever you not spend by the end of the day, you lose forever. How many would like to have that challenge in life? Are you ready for the best news? You ready for the best news?
Yeah.
Here it is. Make sure you hear this and receive this. Every single day, you're given 86,400 seconds. And in the day, they're gone forever. If you would, please take a big, deep breath in and breathe out. How big a check would you write for that? You think about it. Every day we're given these precious gifts, but then I don't know, maybe like me sometimes, I get so frustrated or stressed out over stuff that doesn't even matter. So here's the reality. The reality is you are a miracle manifestation machine. In fact, please repeat after me. I am a miracle manifestation machine.
Manifestation machine.
Think about it. The fact that you took that breath in, the breath out. That's a miracle of life. Now let me ask you this. I don't know, I'm from Kansas, but does anyone understand how the heart beats? How does that even work? Magic. Spirit. It's because, and the point is, every day you create all these miracles. Do you realize the average person, 115,200 heartbeats every single day? See, the reality is more good things than bad things happen every single day. But it's all about what you perceive, what you focus on. I'll give you this example. So I lived in California for a few years, and they have these race car driving schools. And one of the things they teach you is what to do when you spin out of control. And they tell you don't focus on the wall, but focus where you want to go on the track. Because where you place your attention, where you place your focus, that's where you end up. You see, Paul, he wrote this to the church in Rome. He said this, don't be conformed to the world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Let me ask you this. I want you to picture your home. I want you to picture your kitchen. And I want you to go to your kitchen, and I want you to go to your refrigerator. Is everybody there? Yeah. Open up your refrigerator, and here's the question. What can you get out of your refrigerator? You put coffee in your refrigerator? Is it ice? Iced coffee, very good. Yeah, that's a good point. Good point. Iced coffee. Food? What type of food? Yogurt, vegetables. Eggs. Salsa. Now we're all getting hungry. Leftovers. But here's the thing. The answer is the same for everybody. You can only get out of your refrigerator what you put in it. The same is true for your mind. January 2004, I was having this massive headaches, and how can I describe it? Here we go. It felt like this Mack truck was parked on top of my head. And I was referred to Kansas University Medical Center, downtown Kansas City, Kansas. I'll never forget it. It was a cold, dreary Monday morning. I'm sitting in the hospital bed waiting for the test results. I hear a knock, and the doctor walks in, and she walks over to my bedside. She pulls up a chair. She says to me, Matt, there's cancer in your brain. And then she said, you have a less than 10% chance of living to the age of 30. She got up and she walked out. So much for bedside manners. There I was, 25 years young. And there's this voice in me that said, Matt, you can't do this. The odds are insurmountable. You can't beat this. Give up. Your life is over. But then, there was a small, still voice that said, don't give up. Don't give up. And next month, on October 12th, I will turn 39. So we now fix our eyes on what is seen but is unseen. For what is seen is temporary, but what is unseen is eternal. But what I discovered, not only don't give up, but here's something else. When it comes to creating your brightest future, I think more than anything, it's about giving up. Letting go of lack, limitation. Letting go of the negativity. Curious. How many are familiar with the story of the Golden Buddha? Golden Buddha, okay. I want to close with this because it's a great example. So the Golden Buddha, there was a 9-foot Golden Buddha hundreds of years ago, and there was an invasion, and the monks watching over it, they covered it up with mud and clay to disguise it. Well, they were all martyred, and for hundreds of years, everyone thought it was just this clay Buddha. Till one day, a monk was working on it, and there's a crack and the shimmer of gold, and they uncovered it. And now, revealing this golden Buddha, which today is worth up to $250 million. You are a golden Buddha. You are perfect. Do you realize the odds just to show up on this earth? You might beat out over like 400 million sperm. Think about that. You'll never face those odds again. Real quickly, take your index finger, please. Look at your index finger. Those lines right there, we call them, of course, your fingerprint. And what do you know about your fingerprint? 7 billion people. You're the only one that has that fingerprint. And just like you have that unique and special fingerprint, you have a unique and special purpose. You want to know the secret to creating your brightest future? You want to know the secret?
Yeah.
Right. Come a little closer. The secret to creating your brightest future is that you already are. And more than anything, it's a reminder of how perfect, how magnificent, how special you are. But what happens? We have these Dr. Dooms. These are the people that brighten the whole room as soon as they leave. You know any of those? And what happens is, we're this golden Buddha, but the mud of negativity, the mud of doubt, the mud of lack, the mud of someone speaking a word against us, and we allow that to build upon us, to hide your divinity. And know this, you are perfect, you are special, you are unique, you are a co-creator with the divine. All things are possible. Folks, I have so much more to share with you. In this limited time, I can only share so much. So I really encourage you, if you can, make it back from 12:30 to 3:30. And then also, in the back there, I have this thing called the Monday Victory email quote. Because what I found is so many people dread Monday mornings. Did you know the most heart attacks occur Monday morning from 7 to 9 a.m.? People do whatever they can to get out going to work. So I'm on this mission to turn Manic Mondays into Magnificent Mondays. So even if you can or cannot come to the seminar, I encourage you, go back there, put your name and your email, and every Monday I send up a free Monday Victory email quote to help us to realize the divinity and the golden Buddha we all are. I want to close with this. I believe it's so important to celebrate life. So what I want to do is I want to end my part by a celebration. That be okay?
Yes.
And so what we're going to do is we're going to celebrate how awesome, how wonderful you are. So all together what we'll do is I'll just go 1, 2, 3, and then we'll go victory.
Right.
Sound great or sound great? All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, victory! Woo, that sounds so good. Wow. Gonna knock my microphone off. All right, thank you. I'll be back. I'll see you later. Who's up? Oh, thank you. Hey, for you or? Oh, I don't know. All right. Thank you. Oh, I won't forget my craft. Oh, thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you. Oh.
So it is.
Oh, I'm good. I'm all worked up now. Thank you.